Something is really wrong with Erika Kirk.
He said that she had the glow of an expected widow.
And honestly, no skit has ever been more accurate than Drewski's Erika Kirk parody.
But when I say children, I mean like the holy blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Because every time she pops up now, it legit feels like a scene out of that skit. She's still coming across as a disingenuous, fake grieving widow.
I just want to go find you.
Not to mention in this video, she's coming across like a Bond villain, dressed up like a cross between a bank robber, hitman, or undercover CIA agent while calling out her ops.
Everyone is asking why I even went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and it was because many of the journalists in that room have attempted to dehumanize me, and I wanted to meet some of them face to face.
But I'm Jew, welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
It seems to me that nothing will ever be enough for the evil in this world. Our country has become unrecognizable. These people have perverted the truth to the point that they motivated the murder of my husband. They've continuously tried to assassinate the president, and anyone who stands in their way is labeled hateful, racist, fascist, and every other trigger word that is grossly dishonest.
Conservatives are so weird. They are the biggest crybaby complainers out there. They are literally in power. They're running the government. They have their own dictator, and they're still crying and blaming everybody else for everything. Trump has been in office going on 2 years now. Everything going on with all the chaos around the world, the economy in the gutter, America sinking on the world stage is all Trump's fault, but these people will call out anybody except Trump. And every time I see her, I just can't help but think of Drewski's skit. She has the craziest eyes and stare ever.
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers.
We want the best for our country. They don't. This is why Charlie started Turning Point USA in the first place. He didn't trust the radicalized liberal teachers. And this past Saturday,
Trump literally tweeted that teaching about real American history and the atrocities around slavery was woke, and he was going to attack the Smithsonians because they're teaching accurate history. The museums throughout Washington, but all over the country, are essentially the last remaining segment of woke. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Facts and accuracy, they don't like that.
it was a school teacher, of all people, a school teacher, that attempted to change our history for the worst with bullets. And everyone is asking why I even went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And it was because many of the journalists in that room have attempted to dehumanize me.
The fake cry at the Correspondents' Dinner. Erika Kirk at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, while crying, looks at the camera and says, I just want to go home.
I just want to go find you.
He has to be the fakest person to ever exist.
I just want to go find you.
For as much acting as she does, she is trash. She should have got an acting coach or something.
And I wanted to meet some of them face to face, quite frankly. Why have a conversation about me when you can have a conversation with me? So, for example, a journalist from the Daily Mail came up to me. She introduced herself, and she was very gracious. She was saying, "You look so beautiful. I'm so sorry for your loss." To which I replied, "It is so nice to put a name to the face, especially with all of the slander, the lies, accusations that are out there surrounding my husband's murder and myself." And I said to her, "You know what's so interesting? This is my first time at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I find it so fascinating, the dynamic that is going on right now, because everyone is all dressed up, and you guys are co-mingling in and out of each other's cocktail parties. And so for one night, you are able to put aside all of your differences for the sake of freedom of speech. And then by Monday morning, things will go back to being an absolute bloodbath between all of you." To which she replied,
The only people that have a problem with freedom of speech is conservatives. Let's not forget, anybody that didn't agree that Charlie Kirk was a saint when he passed, these people tried to threaten, bully, get fired from jobs, get kicked out of school. They made a hit list of people that were critical of Charlie Kirk and calling him a racist, which he was, all because people didn't agree that he was a good person when he died. But these are the same people that are crying about free speech now.
really, she said, "I know. Isn't it special, right? Isn't tonight so special?" And one of the first things I noticed when I walked into that room was quite literally the proximity of the opposing outlets to one another. So you have one table here that's Politico, and another table here that's Fox, and another table here that's WAPO, and you're all crammed together, elbow to elbow.
There are no opposing media outlets or political outlets anymore. They're all owned and run by Trump allies. That's why we don't hear any real criticism of Trump or any of the destructive things really going on about Trump or this administration, or why everything that happens every week with the Trump administration, which is scandal after scandal after scandal, just fades away because it's only talked about on social media. We are the only ones carrying the torch, really making these issues public. The media doesn't do that anymore.
And to make the night even more of a spectacle, every single 10-person table had 10 bottles of wine. And then shortly thereafter, gunshots rang out and total chaos ensued. And you guys have all seen what happened next because there are 1,000 videos of it. So let's discuss that fact for a second. If you were in that room...
After seeing that Drewski skit, I could never look at her the same. Her eyes are insane. She seems like a crazy person.
You had no way of knowing what the status of the shooter was, how many there were, or honestly, really anything. It was just utter chaos. And so during an active shooting, these journalists are using their phones to find moments to capture for clips. They were so concerned about getting a video in a room with an active shooter that they could have accidentally and quite literally filmed themselves being shot.
And she was fake crying her way out of the building in front of a camera. She literally looked at a camera, made eye contact with the lens, and said, I just want to go home. What are we talking about?
Many of those people have become so desensitized that fight or flight became secondary to the opportunity of putting themselves into the story, which ironically breaks the #1 rule of journalism. And again, ironically enough, the shooter was a teacher. You have these people who are supposed to be teaching our children the future of this country, and he's so unhinged that he is able to teach children by day and then attempt to murder the president of the United States by night.
What does one teacher or one man doing something have to do with teachers as a whole? Absolutely nothing. If he was a pilot, would she be railing against pilots right now? Like, what is she talking about?
And in his manifesto, he starts by contextualizing himself by saying, I am a citizen of the United States of America. And while we may have big problems with illegal immigration in this country, I have to tell you, we have an even bigger problem when it comes to the systemic indoctrination and radicalization of our own citizens.
Charlie Kirk and TPUSA's whole mission is to literally indoctrinate the youth. That's why they're going into these conservative states and conservative cities to build school programs, literal school programs, to teach them their version of American history, to teach them their version of American politics. Conservatives are the ones indoctrinating people. Conservatives are the ones that are radicalizing people. That is all MAGA is, a far-right racist radical movement. They're the ones radicalizing people. They're what's wrong with society in America right now. They're why there can be no conversations between opposing views, because the first time you say something critical about any of these people, the rest of MAGA and their fans are just gonna go spam the N-word in your, in your comments.
This is what got my husband killed. This is what has led to 3 legitimate attempts on President Trump's life.
Legitimate is doing a lot of work in that sentence. A lot of work.
And I can speak firsthand to that unbearable toll that this must take on our First Lady.
We really ain't see her grieve yet. She used every single time she was going to be on camera to push herself further as a face of the Conservative Party, to push TPUSA further. And she's basically been all about making herself the CEO of the company, and that's it.
There has never been a president who has faced nation attempts in Americans' entire history. And after each one, the reaction from the far left has been, at best, a shrug, and in some cases, a sick disappointment that the shooter was unsuccessful.
Donald Trump has literally praised people dying. He's literally laughed at people dying, like Robert Mueller. He literally tweeted about his death. Trump is probably the most unempathetic person to ever hold the office. He is a narcissist. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. And now she's mad because people don't care about Trump, who also doesn't care about anybody else.
We are all human beings. If you can just pause and just take a minute.
Why is she dressed like this? Who thought a silk black shirt and a freedom, I assume TPUSA hat, was the move for this speech? She looks like a hitman. She looks like an assassin. She looks like a narc that's trying to buy drugs from somebody and look cool. What is she wearing? What is happening right now?
Ask yourself, how would you feel if even just one person made cruel jokes about the attempted murder of your loved one? That is what Jimmy Kimmel did to the First Lady. He said that she had the glow of an expected widow.
That fucking face. Nobody is ever going to feel bad for Donald Trump because this is how he talks to people.
You should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are the
never,
gunman's words.
excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead, let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
You're
the
disgraced.
He is rude, disrespectful, sexist, and racist. Erika Kirk is insane. There's just no hiding it anymore. I have no clue the point of her making that video after the White House Correspondents' Dinner, her checking reporters or journalists, and then lashing out at us, the general public, for not caring about a president that is racist, sexist, evil, chaotic, and just destructive to overall society. Meanwhile, Erika Kirk is trying to shame us, but these are the same people that attacked anybody and everybody that didn't agree that Charlie Kirk was a saint before he died. It's just hypocrisy at its finest. And I'm so happy she will never live down that Drewski skit. But shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting and thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.